Hello everyone, it's Partyfoot here once again with another episode of, why do I call it an episode? I'm just playing Mechabellum. And this was a particularly, maybe close game, I guess you could say. So I wanted to do a quick commentary on this one and see if anyone might like to join me for this experience. So right now we're loading in, we've picked the Mustang start with hounds, which is a little bit interesting, but I was attracted to this giant specialist. I've been trying to get these slightly more cheesy builds. Even though I like the late game, I don't think I'm that actually good at the late game sometimes. I guess, well, actually, is that true? I don't know. Our opponent is going for fire badgers and is trying to go for the opposite flank. So I figured with this like kind of variety of damage, we would be able to get through this barrier pretty quickly. And a lot of people, including myself, abandon the barrier side and just form a line and use the barrier quite rightfully to just slow down anything on this side and make it relevant. So this was, I guess, in my mind, a bold strategy. We took the marksman to kind of maybe fend off anything bigger that he was to pick to add to his composition. But he actually went like full chaff. Crawlers, Mustangs, and fire badgers with the training specialist. Interesting. Are we actually going to skip a deployment here on round one, my brother? Well, with this knowledge, it does make my how close this game gets a little bit more contextualized. Alright, here we go. So as we kind of hoped, we're getting through the barriers pretty quick. A few Mustangs are still... Actually, not that much stuff gets distracted by them once you move through. We're immediately on the tower, which feels good. Mustangs chewing down this pack with the Hound's help. Mustangs not that good into crawlers like by themselves, level 1-to-1. Still adequate, but not like as good as you'd hope. The tower goes down at a really nice time while they're stuck on my turret, and we just like... we're slaughtering. These leveled crawlers, giving everyone nice XP. We love this. We get the second tower simultaneously. Okay, here we go. Looks like a pretty handed round one win. Now noticing that they did, in fact, promote crawlers over getting a second pack of something is a little bit surprising. Well, what I think they did is they got their Mustangs. But, I started the episode with the premise that, picking Mustangs out of the starter packs is usually not that good. But I was kind of thinking long-term. Mustangs are pretty good DPS long-term. I bought the advanced missile device. I've been wanting to try it out a little bit more because sometimes I just feel like suddenly, past the point where I've normally been even thinking about little missiles, which is obviously a mistake, my front line's been getting massacred by sentry missiles, and I'm like, how can they possibly do that much damage? And it's probably because of this upgrade out of my opponents. So I wanted to try it, but I probably forget that I even have it. I upgrade the fortification here, get some more hounds. Our opponent moves their fire badgers over to face us, which is like a cool move with the redeployment, which is a really good and underutilized power on my part. But it does mean that all of this stuff is going to come super late and not where the fight is. So, I mean, we've all been there, right? The employee who's just got, hey, can you just go to this meeting and just take down notes and answer any questions that they have? And it's like, yeah, and then you arrive and it's the entire board of executives, and you're like, yeah, no, we are, yeah, we know what the problem is, we think, and we're, yeah. Well, good luck to them, anyway. They're facing into hounds, which I don't even think they're that good at killing. 800 HP, 27 damage, maybe 270 damage a second, so 3 of them, maybe they can kill a hound pretty quick. AoE, let's see. Not bad. Could be worse. They do get some of the hounds before they inevitably face their demise, and they did get a bit of backup from his deployments, so... But this is always nice to see. The turret that you didn't sell, holding things up, slowing everything down, and now exposed to targets that it actually can kill? Oh, not anymore. Still. I mean, early days for them. I think they're thinking long-term, and they're thinking about building up this flank. They've relocated this employees to this pretty hostile environment, but, like, next turn there'll be more, and next turn there'll be more, so... I like the flexibility out of my opponent. I need to, you know, take heart from that. Again, we get both towers before they breach ours. These leveled crawlers doing a lot of damage to the tower, but being at level 2, not quickly enough. So I was feeling pretty confident. You see the 3 Fang pack, and you're like, well, you know, is that a pack you can avoid picking? Seeing Arclights and Scorpions and Sabers too, though. And it's the Arclights for me. Kind of feeling confident that these Mustangs are going to DPS down kind of a pretty broad range of things, as long as they don't get overwhelmed by crawlers. Our opponent, decent number of crawlers, but now putting down the entrenched Sabers, which I really respect. I think maybe entrenching is a little early, but he kind of knows where I'm deployed, unlike what I often do, which is deploy the Sabers in my starting round and then go, ooh, now I can decide whether or not I can field entrench. He kind of does know that he should be able to. Not sure they're the best choice against what I've got. Lots of Hounds and Mustangs. Saber's not historically that good against that. But he does also pick up the Scorching Charge upgrade. So suddenly, I'm like, oh, how do I stop this? This is another upgrade that I've been playing with myself and have basically only experienced backfires. Like, if you... It's always... When it dies, it always explodes into a fireball, by the way. So if it gets one shot in your own lines, yes, it sets your own lines on fire. I had a game where there were Scorpion... The opponent just built Scorpions, and I had already, like, 6 packs of Fire Badgers when I pressed the upgrade. And they went Scorpions, and suddenly my entire chaff was dead to my own Fire Badgers off, like, that initial shot of the Scorpion just hits the first Fire Badger, wipes it out, and then, like, you know, 10,000 crawlers die. Okay, this is an interesting situation. We've got the crawlers are making more progress this round, and we're taking them out with Marksman, which is not super ideal. And it's quite embarrassing that these level 2 crawlers can actually survive being hit by a Marksman as well. So it's not even one tap, one kill. So these crawlers... Okay, they don't quite get the last Marksman. They're a menace. Okay, so improved fire control is probably an easy pick in most circumstances. Put it on a Marksman. Maybe you can one-shot the crawlers now, as the crawlers get stronger in the background. 62k damage. Oh, don't you love it? I love to see crawlers succeed. And they're being advanced up into the field. We decided, obviously, that, you know, why have them make that full distance run? That's a big, sensible move. Saber leveled. I don't know how that's possible. How do you deal 17k damage to this sort of chaff? I guess he got a hit out on the Arclight, at least one good hit. And maybe just got enough random shots on other stuff. It's just like, you know, you just don't generate damage on Mustangs and Hounds. Range for the Mustangs, though, and a pack of Mustangs back here, recognizing the vulnerability. We're also level 3, because we kind of are just, like, ignoring this flank, so... Let's see how the highly leveled crawlers interact with these Mustangs. They do have range now. And we have the water cascade, of course, to clean up. And since we have a lot of Hounds on board, which was part of my strategy, by the way, I do know that if you go Mustangs, you know, people might just counter you with fire. The two curves coming into, like, the losing DPS as the tower gets closer and closer to 0. That was nerve-wracking. I actually have a memory specifically of that moment from when I played this game. Intensive training, of course. We love intensive training. Tech is there too. No, we've got already some techs. It probably wouldn't have been bad, but I also thought maybe we can just beat this guy up. Haven't really used many missiles that I'm aware of, and we certainly haven't recruited any giants, so, like, you know, I do have a problem being like, I think this upgrade is good, and then not actually maybe utilizing it. So first chaff of the game, I mean, you know, Hounds do count. Hounds do count. But it was time to start soaking some of these shots, because these big boys are definitely pretty confused when they're hitting crawlers, so more crawlers means good. We're hoping these are enough Hounds to sprinkle down all the fire, but even Hounds and backup as well in case they the ones in the front go down too quickly. This guy was able to handle them last turn, but let's see what happens this round. Opponent's also picking up some Mustangs with range. More tanks and fangs. We respect fangs. Crawler's getting intercepted. These guys hitting level 2. That's nice. I wanted to level these guys already, but they were so close. And I knew even, like, defeating a few of these crawlers would level them. Okay, and so right now we've got loads of chaff, and he's got, you know, tanks, and we're winning. It's beginning to feel like this was going to be kind of one of those short games. Sometimes you just roll your opponent. Like, it can be hard to get back momentum sometimes in Mechabellum, especially if you your opponent gets a good, like, spell or something. In this case, our opponent's actually investing into spells to try and slow us down. But I do grab that efficient light manufacturing, which is pretty expensive and will slow down my momentum by spending a whole bunch of my money. Marksman going for range. Just keep them safe. They are actually quite pivotal at this point to my side's DPS. It's really the Mustangs and Marksmen that are doing everything, and everything else is just, you know, dying as slowly as possible and avoiding everything dying in a hellfire as well. Opponent actually moves the crawlers out, pops them in the back. That explains a lot. I had actually thought he'd got elite crawler because I remember seeing these ones coming in through the front and being like, aren't those things over here? Ooh, the electromagnetic shot turned off my anti-fire, which then meant a bunch of my stuff got burnt. So my marksmen are getting chewed up. Look, these guys have actually been pretty MVP. They're getting not that much damage, but they're quite quite tanky. Okay, well, I'm still feeling pretty confident because I'm just like, yeah, you know, sometimes you fold, sometimes they just make it through, you know. Having a flying unit that's got high damage, it's really nice, and like, you know, oh, he drops a war factor, it's like a level 4 Phoenix randomly, you know. I still win. So I like that Phoenix pick as a kind of just a little bit of an insurance. We didn't have too much in the air. Wasps could still be... Well, no, that's not true at all. We have Mustangs. So our anti-air seems pretty good, actually. Okay. So these guys are probably pretty far back now. Although this guy is likely to untrench himself. No, I think their stats get applied once the round begins, so you probably can actually shoot over here. Wraith's coming out. Again, my logic is, you know, if we can clear all this ground stuff, especially, like, letting too many fangs live for too long is bad. But, oh, look at this. The devious flank. Putting stuff right up against the wall, not super ideal. I mean, I guess they clear it out pretty quickly, so... Alright, here we go. Wraith's coming in with armor, soaking against the Mustangs. This is what we wanted to see. This is what we were planning for. Mustangs on my side, soaking tank shots, and allowing the marksman to keep pumping. Alright. Okay. Yeah, so this is going to be a sweep, right? It's going to be a sweep. Opponent goes for the defense, and we go for more leveling. So we, we've avoided a few of the scaling picks, like the tech efficiency and things like that. But we've still gone for the efficient light manufacturing, and now we've gone for the extra intensive training as well. So, you know, we are still investing in the future. We've got these level 4 Mustangs now, which are like, you know, a really nice core to have. It's just DPS on every level, you know. Not many units, only 3 units of Mustangs, and these guys are still arriving pretty late and getting a little bit less than desired done. Our opponent feels like they have a lot more. I don't know where I've been putting my, you know, deployments, but they just feel like they've got a lot, and that's despite skipping that first deployment. We've got some Phantom Rays with range coming in, and some Melters with range. Also, I'm very envious of that. But look at this. The level 3 Wraith with regeneration. And armor, and yeah, melters don't care about regeneration or armor. Unfortunate. But we've still got our spicy Mustangs fighting his spicy Mustangs. And now all of his ones are dead, but mine aren't. And I've still got Marksman. And he's on my tower, but the tower has a lot of HP. Oh, Melter versus Marksman. Okay. I mean, it's close. We only have to do 300 damage. I like this like little motley crew of 3 Fangs, 1 Phantom, and 1 Badger. I'm sure you could write a novel about what happens in the lead up to that situation, but this is unfortunate. Tower down, like 10,000% overkill damage, but he's not dead. Of course, Wasps are super easy, popular pick. Opponent already has really nice Mustangs, but Wasps are great into Melters, and that's all I really need to know. More electromagnetic shots? That's the name of that one, right? Impact, excuse me. So this one doesn't actually do damage, but it slows, disables techs, and damages shields. I figured there could be more fire, so maybe a couple hounds, but then maybe a couple marksmen instead, DPS. We did notice on this side, our Mustangs are no longer cutting the mustard, so a bit of anti-fire over here from to prevent these guys from just murdering everything. 8 gun on the Wraith. I think actually the Wraiths were doing okay, although in light of there being melting points, we can actually reverse it. Obviously a bit of panic coming in at this point as my opponent, isn't doing poorly. We're pretty even. All I need is basically a win with anything left on the board, but wait a second. I would just lose everything. Just instantly crushed. Wow. And don't, like, the bonus pain that we don't even take down this guy, so, just that ever so slight extra amount of damage. And we're gone. This time without upgraded tower, not taking any damage. Okay. Well, it's been a combination of mistakes, like an accumulation of mistakes that have arrived me at this point. At this point, we're both like, a win could win us the game, so let's put down fire. Of course, I'm also thinking, wait, hang on, I've got hounds everywhere with this sprinkler. Does the fire actually hit me? Like, if it does, it's a bit of a gamble. I've still got a bit of health, but if this fire lands and everything dies, I'm going to be in trouble. Now, I kind of realized that he's gone for a load of chaff. Like, he's got all these Mustangs, all these Crawlers, all these Fangs. So, ranged Vulcans with the damage, that should just basically annihilate all the chaff instantly and then actually not be terrible at if it gets locked onto a Sabertooth at, being stuck there for 2 hours. So, let's see. Our opponent's moving some melting points out onto this side as well. But our tower's level 4 now, so it doesn't really matter if it dies, I'm going to say. I think the original paralysis is 10 seconds, correct me if I'm wrong, and we're now with level 4, we're negating 8 of it, so... And it also has 100k HP, so, it's going to at least soak for a bit. I don't know, let's see. Our opponent schmuckly puts down shields. When I saw this, I was praying for this little section. Come on, just get some little flamey bits there. A little bit of flamey bits here, a little bit of flamey bits here. Just... usually it doesn't get, like, little tiny bits, but I think, there's a minimum patch size. Let's see. Come on! Oh, you know what actually happens? We drop the shield before the strike, and everything catches on fire. That is so unfortunate for our opponent. Of course, a lot of this stuff is so high level that it actually made it through the fire, which is pretty uncommon. Turns out we've got Vulcans now, though, and this has got to be a war crime. Meanwhile, his Melter, designed to take down my tower, is shooting Mustangs, which it doesn't really like. As our entire army dies over here, and it's just marksmen desperately trying to take down tanks before they get locked on by Melters. It's actually pretty close. Again, if we win by even 100 with one marksman alive, we just win. Oh, okay, we've got one hero alive. He's gonna take this guy down, it seems. Don't take the shot. Okay. That was close. Maybe we'll speed up a little bit here. Because we kind of know what's gonna happen here. Do we? Do we? Slow motion. Take the shot. Or... how much range do they have? Not enough for this first guy? Okay, there's no way, right? Come on. Come on. If there was ever a time to... well, he doesn't make much progress fending me off, though. It's pretty close still. 30% more attack. So he goes for range. We're in a kind of a bit of a headbutt here, so my idea was more DPS on these guys and these guys will mean that your stuff dies. So we'll see if that's the case. This time we remember that shields exist. More Vulcans. Those Vulcans in that first round getting 45, 35 kills, so that's a decent clear out of the enemy's chaff. And not just chaff, neither. Some more experienced Mustangs. Potentially Fangs too, actually. Ooh, these guys are getting their worth in, though. Also relying pretty heavily still on these marksmen as well. MVP for last round, this level 5 marksman with that improved damage. And we're leveling the Wraith, even though they have melters. I think, you know, in this case, you almost would want to swap 8-gun for range, because with the... wait, am I... no, it's the other way around. I'm a fool. I've done the correct thing in the game. Keep myself further away from the front line, allow the melters to just focus on chaff. I don't know. Wraiths are hard to make work as a tanking unit because they get so harshly countered by melters, but also marksmen, and people often already have marksmen and just, you know, click the aerial anti-air upgrade on those marksmen. It's over. Look at this guy. He's in a crab shoot. These things are just melting. Look at this. Tower goes down. 2-second disruption. Is it enough? Melter on the Wraith. Marksmen are already chewing on their sabers, but sabers have a lot of HP. Ooh, Melter versus Vulcan is not good for the Vulcan. But oh, he's got a lot of heavy forces left, but we're down to just marksmen. Come on, take the shots. Take the shots. Just one more. No. Okay. Again, it's down to this guy on his solo mission to win the game. It feels unprobable. And so far, this isn't really making me feel any more confident that it, like, snap regenerates. And, yeah, there's no chance. So, actually, he's halted me and turned me around, but every single round has been extremely close. I go for the 30% attack again. I think this is probably now getting kind of ridiculous. These marksmen, 40k damage. 400 damage out of the Mustang, so that'd be piercing armor on most units too pretty well. Nice for me. Let's see. Oh, we got Suck on the melting points. We're all pulling every stop out, buying all the upgrades. More Vulcans. Field maintenance and field entrenchment is such an interesting combination. Like, unless you're actually using them to tank, I don't know, it's almost antithesis, isn't it? Then again, we watched a regenerating tank storm my line in the last round and, you know, probably prevent us from winning the game, so maybe that's just foolish. In this round we have the Ion Blast syncing up with the electromagnetic impact too, which is scary. But the game-changing upgrade, the Incendiary Bomb. Like, this is such a strong ability. Like, it's not a must pick because it can get you in the, too, but it's funny. I don't think, you know, we unlocked one giant unit this game, and we I don't know that we used any missiles. Okay, good. He survives. And okay, you're in trouble, but oh, the battalion goes down. That was extremely quick, but it's level 4. No, stop. Stop. Big fire. Big fire. And, yeah. We've, had our luck turned back on us. So, big loss from that initial start. Super lost momentum. I think in Mechabellum, you need to keep getting bigger units. Sometimes you want to like stick to a comp and it's working. And you know, Mustangs do have pretty broad success, but that big ion beam coming in, me not shielding it. I was relying on these incendiary bombs. I thought it'll just clear out everything. The Vulcans will clear out everything, and then it'll just be our like reasonably large number of marksman snipers with double advanced tactics. You know, 10,000 isn't too much, because that's 14 shots to kill a level 2. How did he get so durable? I guess I underestimated his advanced defensive tactics actually eliminating one of those advantages. So, well, anyway, there we go. That was a reasonably epic game with a strong comeback from our opponent. Tea with biscuits. Sounds very homely and approachable. Anyway, thank you for watching. This has been Partyfoot playing some Mechabellum.